For most of us, the radio is something we listen to at home or in the car. But for a loyal group of amateur or ham radio operators, the communication medium is a connection to the world. In our Sunday morning spotlight, Michael Schlesinger visited members of the Fond du Lac Amateur Radio Club to see why they've remained faithful to their frequencies.
Bob Burrier goes by two names, his legal one and his call name as a ham operator.
Oftentimes you'll hear me say November to Tango Sierra, Quebec.
Bob tells me he's been at the controls for 30 years now.
My dad had been a ham, and so I got the bug and passed the test, and the rest is history.
His passion even led the way to him being president of the Fond du Lac Amateur Radio Club.
What's your QTH, over?
I'm in Columbia, Tennessee. I'm about 50 miles, almost due south of the Asheville.
Overseeing 50 other enthusiasts just like him.
Talking around the world, I've got 19,000 different contacts, we call them, that I've done in the last 8 years.
But it really is the connection to others making all this so meaningful for him.
The ability to talk to people around is a little bit of a challenge, and the way I think about it is I'm often talking to someone, say, in Japan, on the equivalent of a 100-watt light bulb, and that's pretty astounding to think of that amount of energy that I can talk reliably to someone in Japan.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of all different kinds of radios. I have probably 25 different models in my basement alone, and that doesn't even touch maybe 1/10 of what they actually made.
Dave McCummer is also another radio communicator, in addition to collector of many antiquated transmitters and receivers.
The fun, the learning, the only way I can describe it, it's like Cheers. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You can sit down, talk to people all over planet Earth, have friends thousands and thousands of miles away that you talk to every day.
Dave tells me technology advancements have made hamming much easier.
Before, everybody was all packed in and you could turn the radio on and you would hear 10 or 15 or 20 guys all talking at once, and you had to slide over here or slide over there in order to make a conversation with somebody. Nowadays, you can literally sit on the same frequency and watch 15 or 20 guys working in that same amount of space.
I'm told new digital realms have opened up and people worldwide are connecting with no language barriers, thanks to something called FT8 communications.
The computers are just here locally talking to the antennas through the radio, and the same thing on the other side. So it really is radio communications, just using the computer on each end.
Amateur radio was always considered an old man's hobby, but the pandemic seemed to have changed this belief.
We didn't have to see each other face to face to socialize as we normally do. One other little comment for you, which I find really interesting, is you will talk to someone for 10, 20, 30 years, and then one day you meet that person and you're so surprised that, I didn't think you looked like that. You know, it's just really fun.
And as far as this being something to do for just the older crowd, 20-year-old Isaac Lundberg would politely disagree.
I feel like all my life I've just kind of been engrossed in electronics and computer-related stuff.
Isaac even has a specialty: Morse code.
This is one of the best hands-on ways to learn a lot of basic and even very advanced electronics and kind of some RF, like engineering topics.
The club just celebrated its 60th anniversary. There's always a call out for anyone who wants to join. Members say it's really tailored to those who enjoy electronics, as well as providing a community service even during an emergency. There's also no denying these folks are in a class of their own.
Yeah, I think we're maybe all a little crazy, but I think we're all technology oriented in one way or another. You know, maybe I venture to say maybe a little nerdish in some ways, but from there we're all very different. Some people really like to talk, some people like to get in and tinker with their radios, some people like to do the computer. We're all just very different.